This week on the Barely Stable Podcast.
It is hot as all get up out there.
I've been taking multiple towels, because having like a dry one for the right before you throw.
It's by far the most Googled disc golf related phrase on the internet.
More distance.
Yep.
Yeah, but the ones where we see the most improvement are the putting lessons.
I mean, is it kind of awesome that you and Simon both have babies brought to the world about the same time?
It's funny. They're 2 days apart. And obviously, Yuli, him and his wife are having their baby pretty soon, too. So I'm just excited for my kids to beat their kids in the World Championship. So.
Shots fired. Welcome to Barely Stable, an intermediate level podcast.
Hosted by Daniel Freeberg and Nick Barr. Produced by Daniel Rigdon. Studio engineer Trevor Williamson. A cool disc golf podcast for intermediate players. This is the Barely Stable Podcast.
Live from beautiful Austin, Texas, this is the Barely Stable Podcast. Out of all podcasts produced, only 1% of podcasts make it to episode 20. We're ready to be asked for the 20th time. Here are your Barely Stable hosts, Daniel Freeberg and Nick Barr.
Well, let's go. What an intro by Mr. Rigdon there. That was a 10 out of 10. Let's go. Welcome, everyone. Episode 20, Barely Stable Podcast. We are joined by the one and only David Bibiano. Welcome to the studio. Welcome back to the house. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me back. I'm pretty excited to be here again.
Excited to have you with us as always. Mr. Freeberg holding down the couch as always. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I played a lot of disc golf.
I see you played a lot of disc golf this weekend. You shot pretty awesome this weekend. You feeling pretty good?
I sweat too much.
It's hot.
It's been so hot and humid lately. I know there's people out there that sweat more than me, but I haven't met.
You sort of make gravy. You really get at it. It's a lot.
I took a whole ass bath towel to Met Center. And
saturated?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
And when I got done, somebody was like, "Did you drop that in the water?" Like somebody was
What time did you play?
We started at 10:30.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's already hot.
Finished by 12.
Yeah.
Already hot.
Do you know who else is hot? Mr. Trevor Williamson and Daniel Rigdon in the booth.
Sorry,
What's up? Hot boys.
Hot boys.
Hey, I'm
Two sexy
sweating
ones.
already. Yeah, I'm inside and I'm sweating a little.
I had a hot round today too.
Did you have to shoot? Where'd you shoot?
I don't want to talk about how I shot, but
Just
played at Rivery.
River, nice.
Nice. It was calor, not caliente.
I played a round at the Little G. Have you guys had a chance to get out to Little G?
I haven't. Looks cool, though, from the...
Man.
It's like a postcard. I feel like you're just in like a disc golf screensaver for 9 holes. Like you get done, you just want to do it again. It's really fun. It's not like, I don't say there's anything special. Like all the shots are kind of there in front of you. They're just, every shot's pretty. You get that one awesome view of the city back. I think it's on 6 or 7. Mm-hmm. It's real fun. You don't need a full bag, but I can imagine just going there with 1 or 2 discs and having a great time.
Oh man, Rigdon and I checked it out last week, and he hit the nail on the head. He described it as a championship junior course.
Oh,
that's it. That's good.
Yeah.
Those are good. That's the most efficient use of words I think you could say.
I'll tell you what, they've done a good job at Roy G over the last year and a half, from the redesign and getting it back up into shape. The last couple of times I've been there, I'm just like, man, this place is awesome right now.
I think it's amazing. I think it's one of those under the radar courses that, for free, it might be top 10 best courses in the country.
Could be.
Especially just being a city course that you can just walk onto from 3 or 4 different places.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In the shade.
Yeah.
And when it's hot, it's all shaded.
Beautiful. You're hardly ever in the sun.
When we were there, it was, I don't know, it was like some kind of palm, but the little fuzzy things were dropping out of the sky.
Yeah.
I told Rigdon it was super magical, and I don't know if you appreciated the whimsicalness of my...
Did you enjoy the whimsy?
Yes, I did.
See?
Maybe he did.
False.
Sometimes,
that is false. Rigdon did love the whimsy. So we're already down here in Texas, and it doesn't matter what part of the country you're in. The temperatures are rising, and depending on what political party you vote for, it's getting really hot for all different kinds of reasons. I'm kidding. We're not going to make this show about that. But it is hot as all get up out there. And here in Texas, it's a different kind of hot. It almost feels oven-like from about now until August, September-ish, and then it goes from oven to toaster, and then it's still toaster till about November, and then you get post microwave-ish until the end of the year.
Air fryer bit.
Oh, should have put air fryer in there.
You get
Absolutely.
2 good weeks in October usually.
Like, oh yeah, like where the rest of the country gets an Indian summer, we get an Indian winter where it's just a false cool and then it gets back hot again. Yeah.
My favorite thing is when it gets super hot right before Halloween and then gets super cold on Halloween. So you have all the people out in their little scanty Halloween outfits just freezing their asses off. And then it gets super hot right after that.
It really does. I went surfing here. We used to have a surf park out by the airport.
Yeah.
You remember it?
Yeah.
I went surfing on Halloween. It was like 90 degrees that year. I was like, man, what am I going to do? I'm going to go surf.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
They just opened one up in Waco.
Yeah.
Still want to check that thing out. But the temperature has brought a lot of difficulties with the disc golf game. I don't know if you guys noticed, but my grip, like I had it figured out last summer, and I know I'll figure it again here, but my grip is all over the place. I feel like I'm just all over the place on the disc right now. Yeah.
I've been struggling hard, especially I have a lot of discs. I've gotten better since last year, and I'm throwing a little harder, throwing a little faster, throwing some more stable shit. But like the Champion, or the Eternal Plastic that I've been leaning on all winter, I can get a good rip on it if I get everything dried just right. Yeah. But it's tough with some of that stuff. Like
it's real tough. I feel like I had gotten my putting, I'm not an amazing putter, but I got it ironed to a point where I didn't have the fear of like some errant putt coming out of my hand. And all of a sudden the disc just wants to stick a little to a hand, or I over dust it and it's a little slicker than I actually wanted. I want like this medium tack. And it had me freaking out. I was like, did I just forget how to putt? Like, did I just lose every bit of putting I've ever done because the disc won't come out of my hand the right way? And it's not really, I mean, it's panic mode. It wasn't really quite like that, but it is interesting trying to find a method to get your hand kind of how you want it. What's some things you guys like to use?
Honestly, I just use the loop bag.
Shout out loop bags.
Yeah. Shout out loop bags. And aside from that, I mean, there's not a lot you can do. I mean, I wipe, towel, try to dry it off. But I think for me, it's more like I recognize that everybody's dealing with the same exact thing. So if my grip's slipping, your grip's slipping, and so is yours. And, everybody's playing in the same 105, 110 degree heat.
Yeah.
So I try not to focus. Yeah. I mean, last year it was like 115 a couple of times I stepped out of the truck. I was like, man, it's hot.
Yeah. I think I'd lean a little bit more on the forehand than I maybe normally would, especially in an approach. It feels like the forehand has a little bit more likelihood of not being affected by it, just from maybe like the less surface area you're putting on it. But I think you're right. Like there's no necessarily disadvantage from everyone's dealing with it, but mitigating it seems like an essential skill. It's almost like you can putt, you can throw, and you have to be able to maintain your grip. Like almost like grip is its own little tiny vertical of skill you have to sort of learn. And I'm wondering if my grip does need to be just a little bit stronger too. I've been squeezing a tennis ball like a madman, like a teenager and trying to get good at baseball. Just like over and over.
I will get better. I've been taking multiple towels because having like a dry one for the right before you throw, like just that last. Because for me, like it's just running down my arm, like it's gross. Yeah. And I've seen some people get sleeves.
Why don't you get a sweatband?
Well, I tried that and it just gets saturated too, and then it gets heavy. And so maybe if I took like 10 of them, I don't know, like just
it's gonna be like an NBA player.
Maybe try a sleeve. You never know.
So the sleeve is kind of the same issue, but I try to keep the hand. I've also been throwing G-Star plastic.
I love that plastic.
It's most people like it for the cold weather, but I found that it's got a little more like that Yellow Destroyer that I have. It's been money. Like I'm terrified I'll lose it because it feels like the only disc that does me right consistently right now.
So right now, when you're in that love of that disc, my suggestion to you is seek another one.
Yeah.
I have to find it today, but you just start looking for it, put that in the universe, and then acquire one or two, and then the fear of throwing that disc will go away, and it won't even matter. Then you bring a second one with you, start breaking that second one in so it kind of matches the first.
And this is how you end up with 100 discs that you don't use.
That's exactly correct.
100% correct. Yeah, 100% correct. That is how that happens.
Getting them beat in and getting that G-Star. And then the other thing that I've been doing that's been wildly helpful is I've started disking way down. Because the mid-range, like the Hex or the Buzz, I don't feel like, because it's got that fatter lip, I don't feel like it slips out of my hand as much.
So you've been disking up? Or
disking down to a mid-range instead.
Oh, so if you wanted to throw your Destroyer, you would throw a mid-range instead?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, or if I wanted to throw like a 9 or 11 speed, I might just accept that it's going to go, 20 or 30 feet less, and hope that I can at least put the mid range in the fairway.
Which makes sense. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
in better position, 30 feet shorter than you would have been anyways, instead of totally shanking it because you lost your grip.
Yeah.
I am not. I would say we're just going to strategy divergent for a second. I think the thing you just said is a gap in a lot of people's scoring theory that prevents them from scoring well a lot of the times. Whether they look on an app or they gun it with their laser, they see the basket is, let's say, 255 feet away. In their head, they think my disc has to go 255 feet. And sometimes it does. Sure. Sometimes it does. Other times it'd be great if it went 245 feet, 240 feet, 235 feet, and then had a little ground play ahead of that.
Mm-hmm.
That, I don't know, missing short is, I don't know, it feels like this lost art of disc golf. Like more people could just miss short. Like instead of disking up to something that maybe you can't handle or can't do, like just throw the thing you can throw straight at it. Sure, it's a little short, but no matter what, you have a little run at it. Maybe that goes in, but worst case scenario, you're up around the basket for an easy, 4 or whatever.
Right.
Well, and for me, if I was going to shank the driver anyway, you know what I mean? It's an easy save.
Might as well.
Yeah. 'Cause
No,
I had a couple that slipped out and it was just bad. It was like,
I did that at Austin Bible Ridge, and it is not the place.
No.
I first time ever going, brought some new discs to try out. This is not a place to go and bring. You really only need like 8 discs, and they should all be very bright, and like maybe have a bunk, bunk, bunk on them, so that as you get close, you can at least hear them.
brutal.
You guys got me scared for the summer. I haven't played maybe but like one real round in the last 3 months.
Oh, geez.
What?
Yeah.
Get out and play, son.
I need to. I'm baby boy.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, my son showed up finally. So
Well, congratulations.
thank
That's a
you.
huge deal. I mean, is it kind of awesome that you and Simon both have babies brought to the world about the same time?
It's funny. They're 2 days apart. So I text Simon and I was like, "Hey man, aren't you guys due like right now?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're going in tomorrow." And we were due to go in 2 days after they're due to go in. And then obviously Yuli, him and his wife are having their baby pretty soon too. So pretty cool.
That's pretty
Epic
awesome.
birthday parties coming up in the future, right?
I'm just excited for my kids to beat their kids in the World Championship. So,
Ooh, shots fired.
I mean, I already told them this. So
Do your kids have PDGA numbers yet?
no, I got.
Ooh, should hook them up with a short.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah,
That's a
true.
baller move too.
It is
'cause
kind of right.
especially over like Yuli and
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Doing it tonight.
There you go. I mean, man, they turn 16, they do their first tournament or whatever, and they have a number that's like 4,000, 10,000 lower than any of the adults they're signed up. That's kind of awesome.
Get in their head right away.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Little mental warfare.
Yeah.
how long has this kid been playing?
The let's say you, and this is just throwing it out there, it's a hot day, it's going to be miserable. What's a place in Austin or Central Texas that you actually want to go try to play around if it's one of those hot miserable days?
Roy G for sure. Just because it really is shaded. Like you walk around that entire park and there's not a time where you're in the sun for more than 2 seconds. Sprinkle Valley has been really nice in the woods. I really like that. And then if it's just a short round, like Wells Branch, because it's hot, and if I don't want to be out there all day, I can get around in
Knock it
Wells
out.
Branch
Yeah.
in an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel about Zilker, like
Yeah, Zilker too.
even if it's not, it's a little more in the open, but you can just jam through that
Yeah.
real quick
Yeah.
if you want to. Yeah,
By the time you feel like
Rivery
you can-
too. I mean, you played
Yeah.
up at Rivery today. How was it? Pretty shaded.
crushed.
It's shaded. Yeah, I know. I sweat my ass off. I don't know.
Still a little bit clamped.
Well,
Yeah, it's a hike too. Yeah.
I came bearing gifts
Ooh,
to help you guys beat the heat.
what?
Oh,
Yeah, heck
what
yeah.
we
Okay.
got?
So I got my bag of goodies.
He came in with his big
Yeah.
bag.
I know we saw
Okay.
the bag. I
And we
thought
were
maybe
pretty
it
psyched
was
about
some
it.
sandwiches.
Okay. So we got some
What?
blue bags.
Hey,
All right.
hell
So hold
yeah.
up. But there's a challenge that comes with this.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna challenge you guys. So it's either got to be you two versus these two.
Yeah.
Or
No, I want him on my
him?
team. I don't know. I don't know
guys
what the
want
challenge
blue?
is,
We will
but
destroy
No,
it.
no.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You want blue or red?
Blue.
Blue.
You go with blue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Don't-
We're
It's
all
knocking
good.
stuff over. There we go.
That'll be breaking our thing.
Gentlemen.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, so we
Okay.
are Team Red.
Team Red.
Team red.
Okay.
You guys
Okay.
are going down.
Second, we got some jerseys.
What?
Yeah. So let's
Shout
see
out loot
here.
bags. These are so good.
The loot bags are awesome.
Yes.
Now these jerseys, I wear them all the time. I wear them so much that my wife is always like, "Why are you not in your jersey when I'm not wearing a jersey?" But because they're so they're the most comfortable jerseys I've ever worn. And the second biggest positive is that they don't hold the BO stench.
Oh, nice.
Like a lot of the dry fit jerseys do,
Nice.
cotton jerseys do, or whatever. And my wife, she smells everything. She's like a bloodhound. She's like, those shirts stink. I washed them
Yeah.
3 times, but they stink. These ones don't hold the stink.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I've got.
I'll
let's
put that
see.
for the Pepsi challenge too.
You guys are gonna have to be this one's large.
You know, we're
I
playing
knew.
doubles in these jerseys with these loot bags ASAP.
Yeah.
Large, extra large, and large.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you so much, man. Let's,
I'm the only
take a look.
XL here.
Yeah. Now, on top of that, what we'll do
Ooh.
to make the challenge kind of official is that the Power Disc Golf Academy wants to sponsor you guys to play in a doubles tournament.
Hell yeah.
So pick a doubles tournament. We'll pay for you. You guys got to play at the same time, but we want to know who won.
All right.
That's
That
awesome.
one, that's amazing. This
Yes.
is why you're really good at what you do. But 2, thank you so much.
Yeah,
And
thank
3,
you so much.
Game on, fellas.
Let's go.
Dude, so there's a doubles coming up at the Beast, I think.
There's a Beast doubles. There's a Zilker doubles coming up. There's a couple doubles tournaments on the horizon. Want to figure that out?
I want to know. I'm betting on you guys.
That's
Wait,
because the
good bet.
MCO guy to carry him back there.
Listen,
what are we gonna-
no, it's
what
more
division are we
like the behind-the-scene guys. The behind-the-scenes guys get the job done. Sorry, guys.
This
I
is
mean,
true in almost every occasion,
Yeah.
so I can't argue with that logic. But I take it offensively, and we will destroy it.
We will bring the thunder. I will bring a whole ass towel and my new loot bag.
Those
My
loot
new
bags are
pimp ass
awesome.
jersey.
These are so fresh, man. These are.
Yeah.
How does are these just for sale in the shop, the Power Disc Golf Academy shop? Are these
Yeah.
something that people typically earn?
We have them on our pro shop, and the pro shop's available to only members of the academy, so they can go on there and purchase them. We don't stock we're not an apparel company by any means, but every once in a while we'll get an order in, and our members love them. They're just always like, man, these are the most comfortable things I've worn. So
They're dope. I like it a lot.
We see a handful of guys at the Zilker League with their jersey on,
Let's
and we
go.
always give them a shout out.
that's what I'm talking about.
Punting Champ has always got his on. The little holes in it. This is a exceptionally high quality jersey, man.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
This is great. We'll have to talk after the show because these are incredible. I have to figure out how to get our hands on a few of some of these.
I got you.
Yeah.
I'll share the wealth. We'll let you know where we get them from.
Well, speaking of the Power Disc Golf Academy, you guys have this, amazing thing you guys just wrapped up. It was a fundraiser with the Paul McBeth Foundation. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, we are doing some cool stuff. The Paul McBeth Foundation and their team, we kind of got in contact with them and we let them know, hey, listen, part of what we want to do as an academy, and I told you guys this last time I was here, is that we want to be the most admired brand in disc golf. And part of that obviously is having an awesome community. But then, Paul and I, Yuli and I kind of started thinking how can we utilize this community to do something good for just the world? And we put together the idea of doing a disc golf-a-thon. So almost similar to a walk-a-thon where you're going to walk X amount of miles and your buddy's going to pledge $1 per mile that you walk or $10, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's the same exact thing, but it's a disc golf-a-thon. So friends and family sponsored people in our academy to play however many holes they could in 4 hours. So we called it the Power 4 Hour, and you had 4 hours to go, consecutive hours, not broken up, not on separate days, 4 hours, get as many holes as you could. And we just wrapped it up. So we raised just over $9,000 for the Paul McBeth Foundation, which is pretty awesome.
That's incredible. I don't want to say there's a hack, but are you aware of Rigdon's skills and ability in speed disc golfing? Have you seen
not.
the videos?
Have you seen it? We had a race. He's a little bit faster than me, but
Okay.
not a lot.
I'm curious to know, Rigdon, if you beat the guy who did the most holes in this challenge.
No, I did. Was that the Disc MD guy, or was it somebody
No,
else that did it? Okay.
Somebody else.
I saw he was the only one I saw. Actually, I kind of scrolled through his live Disc MD, and it was really fun. I was just kind of scrolling through, and I caught he did a throw in for eagle for 80 feet. So it was kind of cool to watch him. He was like, I just did that live. This is so cool. It was just really fun to kind of catch somebody's round. But no, I just do 1 or 2 holes at a time. So I'll do I've done a par 4, hole 1 at Roy G, the par 4 in 30 seconds. And I got a birdie
you
on
mean
it. So it's speed.
Yeah.
So I
Got it.
strap a camera
Super
to my
speed.
head and I
gotta-
sprint.
I've seen you do that.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
great content.
with the 360 cam.
That was
It's
awesome
nuts.
content.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jonathan Geeman, he's been in the academy for a while. He's kind of our giant slayer. When it comes to competitions, Jonathan's always in. Like, he beat Simon in the ace race. He beat Jake Wolf in the ace race. He won this competition. He did like 225 holes or something that of disc golf.
In 4 hours?
It was basically a hole of disc golf a minute on a pretty decent course. It was like 4,000 foot course. Like, it wasn't like pitch and putt.
How many?
200, and if you go back to the screen, I can.
Yep.
200 holes? That's crazy.
Yeah, let's see. If you go to participants on the left-hand side there, on the left-hand side menu, and then click on by amount.
So 240 minutes
Right there, Jonathan.
of disc golf.
And he raised $1,000.
And he played how many holes?
200 and something.
That's
If it's
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
252.
252
so he
holes of
played
disc golf.
more holes than he had minutes.
So he did like the 4 hours of running like you did on those. I would die. I could do maybe. Nick does it. He's not buying it.
I'm just wondering if he has some. I mean, 1 minute is. I guess like the mini at Flying Armadillo.
No.
Just
We didn't allow courses like that. Like, it was a legit course. It was a course that was longer than Wells Branch.
that is an impressive
so
clip.
much.
Now, I did my 4 hours at Wells Branch.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know, and I completed 3 rounds, and I was smoked. It was hot.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and I wasn't even really playing for score, although I did go bogey free for the first 2 rounds, which I was
Nice.
really happy about.
That's awesome.
But he played a course that's longer than Wells Branch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was a legit, course, and he's like a triathlete or something. It's super endurance.
Oh, endurance
whatever.
athlete, that'll
He's just running and jogging the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So-
no, I can't. I would die.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. you'd have to
100%.
come- Yeah, they'd have to airlift my big ass out of there.
Absolutely. But yeah, the whole campaign was successful, and it was kind of like a test for us because we want to do something big. I talked to the folks over at the Disc Golf Pro Tour about it, and they were like, "We like it, but you got to test it. Let us know how it works. And if it works out well, then maybe we can do something where we, the DGPT promotes it and get some of the tour card holders to actually participate and do 4 hours and get their fans to donate. And then even open it up to Disc Golf Pro Tour fans to participate. But my thought is, if we can get 500 people, 1,000 people to participate, plus some big names in the game, how much money could we raise? So we want to do something for like the Make-A-Wish Foundation, Edge Disc Golf, things like this. So after the Pro Tour season, we're going to try to do something big.
That's huge. That's great.
Really cool. You
That's a
can
really
count-
good idea.
Count us in.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything we can do for that.
Yeah.
I mean, literally anything. Name the thing, and we'll help out.
All right.
That's incredible. Just the idea that like disc golfers can do some good with some of the notoriety and some of the, if you will, the followings that they have, I think is huge. I know a lot of people like Paul and Yuli both have their foundations that help, but everyone kind of getting together and putting one effort into, like you said, like a really useful pot. It's really, I think, one of the core things that the disc golf community says it's about, but you don't necessarily see it all the time.
Yep.
And that would be putting, I think, a lot of good action towards, when someone can say words, it's one thing. When you can put it to real action, I think that's a commendable thing. Man, I'm a little speechless. That's pretty awesome, dude.
I'm
really awesome.
pretty happy with how it went. We were $1,000 short of our goal, which that's all right.
And that's why it's a goal, not
That's
an
a goal.
expectation.
It's a stretch.
Yep.
But yeah, I think we can do something pretty big in the future. Make-A-Wish Foundation is the one that I want to do next.
So, how many participants did you have total in the competition?
Yeah, it was only like 30 people.
So 30 people raised $9,000. That was the thing I think I was impressive. I think the last I looked, there was maybe 27, but up to 30. So 30 over $9,000 was everyone raised about $300.
Yeah, something like that.
That's
on
pretty awesome on average. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's impressive. You roll that out to, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but if let's say the average participant was going to raise about $30-$40, and even if you just got 4,000 or 5,000 people involved, you're already doing a significant amount of good. But I feel like 4,000 or 5,000 would be a low estimate over a nationwide, right?
We're hoping, and then then you got people like our coaches who have big social media followings.
Absolutely, yeah.
And if somebody that's a fan contributes $10, that's huge. Like those that adds up quick.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
Break down for me exactly how they count it. So like, do you guys put out like a time online, like everybody start now, or do they have like a?
Yeah, we left it to kind of the honor system, and the people who participated, we know them pretty well, so we could trust them. We gave them a week time frame because people have. We thought about doing it on a single day. We have a single day. Somebody's playing in that tournament this weekend, so they can't do it on that Saturday, or their kid's got a baseball game or work or whatever.
Yeah.
So we gave them a week, and we just said, hey, listen, anytime between this date and this date, pick 4 consecutive hours. Record it on UDisc because it's got the timestamp, and then just make sure to have that. Yeah.
Just run it. That's great. And how many did you get through?
50, what's 18 times 3? 54? 54 holes.
54. That's still a lot. That's,
I was smoked, dude. I was done. I finished up and I had a headache and I was tired. Yeah. What was cool is that there was a couple of people at I was playing through because I was playing fast, so I ran up on a couple of groups, and I told them what I was doing, and they were like, "Here's $10, here's $15, here's $20." One dude's like, "I don't got anything to give you other than a bottle of water. If you need more water," and I was like, "I'm almost out, dude. I will take that because that would fuel me for like another at least 10 holes."
Yeah.
But yeah, it was for me. It was like because I haven't played it in a while, so I was like, "Man, I'm smoked."
Let's see, 3 rounds in a single day, that's rough. We were just complaining about how we don't like playing in tournaments that have 2 rounds in the same day.
Well, and that's such a conundrum because, like, if there's a tournament that's out of town, like we were talking, there's the Monaghan Open and the Flat Creek Open.
Yeah, both of those are really
about
appealing.
An hour and a half away, 2 hours away. So it's like they changed it from 2 days.
Right.
Which is like, oh man, one day I can swing one day.
Right.
You know, I mean, I can't dedicate my whole weekend every weekend, but
right.
one day. But then it's like 2 rounds, man.
That's a long time.
My old man comes out hard in that second round. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get a little grumpy. I'm like, why am I doing this?
You need a snack.
Stomp it. I do. I think it's totally what it is.
Take a peanut butter sandwich.
If you looked at my weird Google history, it would be like, what's the best thing to eat in between sporting events? What's the best feel? Like, how do I not feel sleepy or cranky? Like, it's all like I couldn't even get a good question into Google, so it would just like tell me exactly what I wanted. So instead, I looked up like what tennis players do, or what like I thought of other sports where they play like multiple matches in a day, and I was like, well, what are those idiots doing? Well, not idiots, excuse me. I'm just saying,
yeah, I mean,
what are those tremendous athletes doing? Yeah, idiots. What am I talking about? But what those idiots are doing is eating basically food that's pure fuel. That's like, I hate to say it's pure sugar, it's pure carbs, it's just things that keep you in ketosis, so your body's sort of like not falling off that cliff. So it's like this weird thing where you can't eat too much because then you'll go in like coma mode, but you have to kind of keep eating slowly. The big suggestion was not to eat any one big meal.
That's a problem
since we're talking about that, but like they give you an hour and it's like
giant pile of spaghetti.
I'm a binge eater.
Yeah.
And you get done with one round, you have like whatever 90 minutes between the next one. Like your only real option is to go have lunch. Like you can't just like, oh, actually I'll graze for the next.
Plus the restaurant at Flat Creek, if you guys play that one, the restaurant's really good.
It's absurd. Plus you're getting pasta or pizzas
or a hamburger.
Or a hamburger.
It's delicious.
It's all
really
good. Yeah.
But,
plus there's like
at Monaghan's they're doing barbecue pulled pork, I think.
Oof, man.
So
my favorite, but what a bomb in the
I did see that at the Turkey Ridge one that was this weekend that I didn't go to because it was far and it was 2 rounds. They apparently had like extra coolers with like ice towels.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
that's really
like,
cool.
The tournament directors, the locally ones, shout out Mint. They're trying to come up with ways to. They know it's hot, right?
Absolutely. I've been taking some of my cold water and pouring it in my hat and placing it back on my head, and I tell you, that's about a 15-degree difference immediately. It's probably the best hack in the game for keeping cool.
Off the dome a little bit.
Moynihan Ranch is such a great place to get out to. The Moynihans are incredible. I mean, just human beings, but they're both really good disc golfers too.
Yeah.
I love going out there, but it's such a hike. I mean, I live in the closest part of Austin to them, like this, like basically south, and it's still really far for me. So you add another 45 for you guys up on the north side. It's such a hike to get out there, and then you're out there all day. Yeah. And then you have to drive an hour and a half back. It's like,
it's tiring.
It's tough.
It's the San Antonio. I think Big Brother wants to do it so he can meet because he's coming in from the other side.
That could be fun.
And so, I'm trying to talk him into playing in our division so that maybe we can play together.
Or around the same time.
Yeah. But we'll see.
So we have, I guess, I don't say a question, but like we've all been trying to improve our game a little bit. Last week we did Tech Disc, which I guess we could Can we reveal how we all tried to guess our speed and our rotations, and we all went out in my net in the back, and we were all taught lessons about like how it's hard. Throwing's hard, right? So we got like our real numbers, and I don't know. To me, I took plenty from it. I'm sure you guys did too. As people get through the Power Disc Golf Academy, I know a lot of people that utilize different portions of it, but every time I talk to someone about it, I feel like they have a different lesson or lessons that they are like, no, the one you have to watch is this one.
Right.
Or they have a very strict opinion on which putting course they enjoyed more.
Right.
What do you find are like, if we just put it across the board of like a YouTube analytics, what are our top 10? Like what's everyone watching?
Yeah, the most watched videos that we have are Ezra's max distance lessons.
That makes sense.
I mean, that's what everybody wants, right?
Makes
Everybody
sense.
wants to throw an extra 30 feet, 40 feet, whatever. Everyone wants to break 400 or 500.
It's by far the most Google disc golf related phrase on the internet.
More distance.
Yep.
Get more distance.
So that's just the nature of the beast, and those are the most watched. But the ones where we see the most improvement are the putting lessons. We have more people come back to us saying, man, like I shot 5 strokes better. I wasn't throwing more further. I wasn't more accurate, but my putts were going in.
Yep.
And 5 strokes, 4 strokes, that's a big difference to your rating.
Huge.
Humongous, right? So like when your circle's edge and you're not comfortable and you're missing a putt that's wide open, and then all of a sudden you go through these lessons and you're like, okay, cool, I'm comfortable with this now.
Or even worse, you're at circle 1 and you sky the first one.
Right.
The second one and then now you're in a 3 or 4 Bordeaux. Yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
But the putting lessons are the ones where people come back and report that they're lowering their strokes the most.
And that's what all the MPO or MP1 people that we've talked, MA1, have been like, work on your putting.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the fastest way to improve your game. So
I'd have to agree with that. Of the academy lessons that I've spent actual time going back or having it on my phone while I'm out putting, like working on one piece at a time, I wouldn't say one is better than the other, but I've taken a little bit, probably mostly from Simon and Yuli's putting. I feel like my putting stroke's more like Simon's. Like I like a little bit more spin. So his grip and sort of like arm movement from, I guess, drop to release, I really follow. But Yuli's footwork and how he addresses the basket really helps me. I almost teeter before I throw to sort of like get that skateboard feel of going this direction. Okay, everything's going this way.
Right.
And almost tell my brain like, whatever, kind of like if you're heading. With the distance being such a big thing though, what do you feel is like maybe, I don't know, the gap between like people as they start where they're focusing, I don't say on the wrong things, but they sort of become a little more focused on like, I just want to be able to throw far. It kind of reminds me like a video game where like the first time you play it, you get through it, you're like, oh man, though, if I just done these 3 missions first and built up this, I could have had so much money and so many things. And I think about that with disc golf a lot. Like, man, if I had just gotten good around the basket right away, if that had just been a priority immediately and I didn't get so obsessed with trying to figure out how to throw far, if I could just throw straight and putt really good, I would have been so much better, so much faster. But instead I was like, can you make it S-turn? Or what's a spike height? I mean, like all the things that are like kind of utility tools, not something you use every day. Yeah.
So a few things. I think that the putting lessons are going to be the quickest way to lower your score. The other 2 sectional lessons that I really like are the mental game lessons, right? Because even when you've got the mechanic, you sitting here and practicing, you're just like, you got it on lock, you got your earbuds in, you're just like knocking them down. Once you step up to the basket in a tournament, it's a completely different view. Your head is just everywhere. So like Simon's, the way he talks about like what's going through his head when he's going to putt just resonated with me so much. And I think that helped me just as much as the actual technique stuff. And then when it comes to putting, like putting's a lot easier when you're closer to the basket, right? If you're getting in the bullseye or just outside of the bullseye, circle 1. So, in order to get there, you got to throw a shot to get there. And a lot of times that's just an upshot, even if it's par 3. And Yuli's lessons on, anything from 200 feet in have helped my putting tremendously because I'm closer to the basket, so I don't have to putt as far.
Yeah.
So I mean, those are the ones from like an overall game standpoint. But then like everybody wants distance. It is. But like when you're trying to build distance, the first thing that we point people to is build your bag properly. What discs are appropriate for your skill level, for how fast you can throw, for where you're at. And so Hall and Hanley's and Ezra's lessons on how to build a disc properly or a bag properly, those are the lessons we recommend. Like you want to get more distance, figure out your bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then do the X-step lessons for Bewley. And then do the upper body mechanics with Simon. And then kind of tie it all together with Ezra's max distance lessons that have the more advanced stuff like bracing and, you know, all the stuff that Ezra does. And,
Yeah. Also, being super buff and hot is his thing, right?
Yeah, hit the gym. That's his thing.
It's like, slow down,
Shout out-
kid.
Eat
Like,
beans.
geez,
Yeah.
I know.
Shout out Holland Hanley, course record
Yes.
this weekend.
Course record this
Another
weekend.
Power Disc Golf Academy coach with a course record.
Yeah.
That's got to be the third or fourth this season, right?
I think so. Ezra set 2 course records
Yeah,
earlier.
Northwood Black. was one
Northwood
of them.
Black, which is a lot of people consider that the hardest course in the world, and he got the course record a couple months ago.
Got a hot take.
So
I think Northwood Black and Sprinkle play adequately the same hardness.
I've never played
hot
Northwood
take.
Black, but I'm
Hot
hoping
take.
that's the case because I'm okay at Sprinkle.
I am
Have you played
not
Northwood
good
Black?
at Sprinkle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What's your take, Trev?
I was pretty decently happy with my 8 over.
I played in the winter without a lot of the growth, so it probably seemed more open, but it didn't necessarily feel like any of the lines or any like the asks of your shots were any harder than, I guess maybe a few are a little tighter. But,
yeah,
I don't know, played
think
around the same
as
level.
far as like the tightness of the woods, yeah, I think Northwood Black's longer. There's also some water holes.
There's two sections of water carries, yeah, basically 3 holes, yeah.
And the Northwood Black they played this year may not have, it's not the actual like
not the
black
same
layout. It's like a
black layout.
combination of the hardest
All the hardest holes?
holes on the
Oh,
property
jeez.
type thing. So
Sheesh.
That's-
Double black.
Yeah. Didn't matter.
so that's
at all
why it
for
was a course
Ez, man.
record because it was like a new layout. And,
Oh, okay.
but he did shoot better than anyone else. So
That was crushed. I texted him. I was like, geez, man, chill out.
You mentioned something with Yuli earlier. He put out some YouTube videos. It might be on the Academy as well, this mentality. But he mentioned, and I think it's probably still accurate, that he's an excellent Circle 1 putter, nearly 100% from Circle
Best in the
1.
world, right?
He's in the lead right now. He's got the
yeah.
highest percentage this year and last year.
He said to the camera very simply, he's like, I know I'm good from here. I'm going to focus on throwing every distance into that circle that I can. So my practice is not necessarily going to be focused on putting in Circle 2. I'm going to make sure that all my approach shots are Circle 1, whether that's locking down a for sure par or giving myself a birdie look. My goal is to put it in Circle 1.
Right.
And I tell you, I am not a Yuli and I can't putt that good, but I tell you, trying to just think, not to put it near the basket, just find a pocket that's in Circle 1 and the disc just needs to find its way to that open area, unlocked this silly little thing in my brain that I felt like I was looking through the world like this, and I went, okay. Yeah.
You were looking
I
through
see.
the keyhole and then went ahead and opened the door. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
like
wow.
you don't necessarily have to take this small tube directly to the bat. You just need to find your disc just needs to find a way to, circle's edge circle. And if you're at circle's edge, it doesn't look that close when you're back throwing approach. But when you get up there in your circle's edge, you're like, let's go. I got a birdie. Like, let's get a birdie. And anything better than that is just cherry on top. And I feel like that little bit, like, I don't know, it didn't necessarily make anything easier, but it definitely made the mental game a little bit easier without having to stress so much about like the upshot being so close to the basket. Like, it's actually a pretty forgiving area up there.
Yeah.
Yuli's the man though. So.
Yuli's got a great way of explaining stuff, man. Sometimes
Yeah.
I just listen to him and I'm like, it makes all the sense in the world. Like, it just simplifies
Smart.
it. Yeah.
And, though, I mean, he's got what, not 10,000 hours, probably 50,000 hours. And then now he's not even like gaining, he's just learning how to refine information down to like very simple facts. So he's like in the mastery phase of his like, I don't know, progression as a disc golfer. And I'm here for it.
I just like how he can articulate that and pass that knowledge to somebody else. Not everybody has that ability. Not every great disc golfer or athlete has that. But Paul speaks and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I can execute that.
Absolutely. He's the type of person you hope like in his later years is making decisions, maybe even for the PDGA
I think he
and
will.
further on. Yeah.
I wouldn't. If he's not making decisions, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, I would love to see him high up with the PDGA, helping make rules, helping them decide that they should use string instead of paint.
Yes.
For the out of bounds, helping the standardized tee pads and baskets.
Yeah.
Because I think those are all things that he would advocate for. It's sometimes I wonder if the PDGA has people who are still playing.
Yeah.
Making rules for people.
I think sometimes we blame the PDGA, and don't get me wrong, like I don't even know, the pamphlet's still here, so like I don't want to get too triggered, but
Get that away from him.
A lot of times PDGA relies on the tournament directors at the courses they have arrived to sort of like kind of decide and do those things. So if anything, the PDGA could maybe just use like, I don't know, someone who is going to be listened to and respected in a way that like, I feel like everyone would want to impress Uli if Uli was the one going to check on things. Uli, probably Yuli, sorry. Get a weird in my mouth. But when he talks, like you said, people listen. And I feel like if he was the person that everyone sort of had to answer to, the standard is just going to go slightly higher due to him, like, if you will, the tide rising all ships. Like, he's going to make everyone else be as diligent as he is, it seems
Definitely has that presence.
Yeah.
When he speaks and when he walks in a room, for sure.
It's a great find for you.
Oh, yeah.
Like for the Disc Golf Academy.
I mean,
Wow.
we couldn't have picked or had a better person to start the academy than Paul. I mean, Simon was going to be our guy. Eagle was going to be our guy. And now that I'm looking back at it, I'm like, I'm really glad that it started with Paul, because man, he set that foundation and it's rock solid. And now we can just add to it, and it's pretty awesome.
I mean, you got Paul and Simon. That might be better than the Beatles as far as like a good Paul and Simon combo. Like, there's a real hot take.
That's very hot.
If there's anyone else who articulates himself more or kind of understands the game more, it's Simon. He's just a different brain. Like, his brain works in such a different way than Paul's does, that it feels like those two together really is sort of like a dynamic, almost like the Beatles, where they work in harmony very well, but they are creating two different things and kind of going about it two different ways, and they're both very correct.
Yeah, absolutely. And then not only, I mean, the other coaches too.
Not to take away. And
Holland is, if you watch Holland's lessons, she's very well spoken. I was like, man, when you speak, it's just so fluid and just like great,
dense with knowledge too.
Yeah,
like she I don't say she's done her homework, but she's clearly like disc golf is her thing, has been her thing for a while, knows it. Like, this isn't something she's figuring out, this is something she knows. But one of your newest coaches, Jake Wolf, shout out to the great state of North Carolina. That guy is a he's a gunslinger.
He's got the most unique game on tour for sure. And when you see him throw in person, and you realize how far a disc can go when it's thrown as a tomahawk, unbelievable.
The tomahawk, I see people with tomahawk. It's not something I'm going to have. I don't got it. I see people, it's amazing. And then when you see him throw it, and it's 200 feet further than anybody else you've seen throw it.
Man, okay, so Northtown, hole 10.
Okay.
Where you cut across the creek twice.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people throw thumbers on the left side, on that left gap, and they in middle of the fairway, or a tomahawk in the middle of the fairway.
Hole 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's
going over the creek twice.
Yeah. Is it hole 9? Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. Hole 9. So he was like, okay, I'm going to throw this tomahawk. He threw it and landed in the second creek. Like, long in the second creek. It went over everything. And I'm like, how is it? Like, it's crazy how he can do that. But we know that a lot of people just are never going to have that. Like, it's not a shot that you're going to lean on for most people, unless you're like a baseball player or a football player, a quarterback or something. So he really focused on how can we use this as a utility shot to look at that gives us another option in situations like scramble situations.
Yeah.
Or shorter situations. Cause obviously some people go out there and throw out their arm, but he's also a phenomenal coach. He put together an awesome set of videos that teaches.
Sounds like I need to watch them.
Dude, they're awesome.
Dude, I'm still trying to. I feel like every time I throw a thumber or a tomahawk, like my shoulder goes, please don't do that again. Just there's no need. There's no need. But he has a very interesting bag. Have you guys ever dove into like how many discs he carries in his bag?
Like 5,000?
Yeah.
He has two full rows of discs, and it is packed out, and then a bunch sitting on the side. So he has just a bunch. His thing is like different weights. So he'll have a lot of the same disc, just like 171, 169, 158, and like just stacked out. And then another disc, same thing, through different weights, because he's throwing the same shot, and just the weight will determine the distance. Like that's
pretty cool.
pretty crazy. Like that's kind of awesome.
I did see a Instagram where he was showing what he had in his bag, and I think it was a Squatch bag, and he just kept pulling shit out of there. It was like, surely he doesn't have any more, and it's like, oh, there's 2 over here, there's 3 over here, there's 5 on top.
He could set the world record for like longest in the bag video for sure. Like,
For sure.
So many discs.
I thought it'd be a cool thing if all like a bunch of disc golfers got together and they started laying their discs out in a line, and they had to stand behind like
Who has the long?
their because he would be like almost 2 bags beyond everyone.
I believe
I mean, that's a lot of discs. But him being added as a coach, I felt like was like getting Rodman on the Bulls.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
I like the comparison.
He doesn't necessarily fit in, but he is a baller.
Yep.
He is got a very specific skill set. He's not necessarily trying to be, anyone else on the Bulls, but he is him 100%, and he's very efficient at the thing he does.
Yeah.
And the fact that he can articulate and kind of show you how to do what, I mean, you go in thinking this is a circus shot, and you leave going, oh, that's a technical shot. You really gotta like know what you're doing, how to do. It's kind of awesome. I thought it was brilliant to have him on, and he didn't overlap anyone else's skill set in a way that, I don't know, it's very much like Rodman on those Bulls in the 90s, man.
Grab the rebounds.
Rebounds, which is like utility guy, where you're like, you're counting on him. He's a specific.
Let's help him bring more W's.
Right.
Like he's like I don't even know how to describe it, but the Rodman thing was the first thing that came to mind, because there's no to dismiss his skill set or his ability, because it's clearly there.
We're gonna need Jake to dye his hair now.
Jake, get some jewelry in his face.
I'm way into this.
Become friends with Kim Jong Il.
I feel like Rodman PDJ is about to create his next meme.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Well, we want to thank very much David Bibiano for coming in from Power Disc Golf Academy. Haven't checked it out yet, powerdiscgolfacademy.com. Amazing lessons, well worth. What is the, I don't even remember now. It's
$75 for a year. But we guys, your code is still active.
Code is still active. The Barely Stable code. It's only $75 a year, but it's half off if you use the code. We'll link it down in the link below, of course. But for $75 for the entire year, and I guess that turns out to be what, 37 something. Is that right, Matt?
$37.50.
$37.50
the first year.
Yeah.
That is 2 discs.
It really
Instead of buying 2 discs, just resist the urge. Trust me, I'm not one to talk, but like just resist the urge of buying 2 discs. Get the Power Disc Golf Academy and just find any place in there that you think is interesting. You don't have to start anywhere. You don't have to do anything. Just if you see something interesting, I assure you it'll pay off by the time you get done with the lesson. It'll give you some knowledge that you didn't have before. And even if you're a middle line to seasoned amateur, you're going to find something in there that's going to help you fine tune your game and really get it to the next level. So if you're hitting a plateau, if you've hit like a dead end, if you feel like you just can't get beyond one thing, $37 and just look around. I promise you it's much better than all the randomness that's on YouTube. What they've done is kind of taken everything that's out there in the YouTubeverse, they've put it through a filter, and they let the 5 smartest people talk about it in very organized fashion.
And it's way more consistent. You get looking around on YouTube, you're going to find 9 different things telling you 9 different things to do.
Absolutely, or contradicting each other. Mm-hmm. These guys, they might not all say the same thing, but they don't contradict each other, and they all agree on the same basics and the fundamentals of getting good. And I don't say getting good fast, but like I'm telling you, Paul is not there to mess around. Paul's not there to get good slow. He's there to get good quickly. So if you're looking for that, please check out the Power Disc Golf Academy. And you guys have any events or tournaments coming up?
No, nothing else for right now. We've got some other big things in the works that we're going to try to do. We just finished our fantasy disc golf season, which ended yesterday.
Oh, right. Let's talk about the winner.
So it was a simplified version of fantasy disc golf. So it was more like a you make your picks every week from anybody, and then there's a point system or whatever. But people bought into the season, and the winner, he's going to get an all expenses paid trip to go play whatever disc golf course in the world he wants to play.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That rules.
And you said he wanted to go to Europe, but he hasn't
He
decided
wants
which
to go
one
to
yet?
Europe. Yeah, I'm not. I talked to him today, and he's like, "Man, I'm going to Europe." And I was like, "As long as you got your passport, man, we're paying for it." So
Gotcha.
That's
nice.
awesome.
yeah,
That's really cool.
The Facebook community is always full of people kind of talking about opening discussions. That's always worth looking at too. And those type of contests and things are always there in the community. So even if you want to just check out and see what people are doing, check it out on Facebook and see some of the conversation, because it's pretty awesome. Not only the support, but all the little games and competitions and stuff. I mean, really, the Power Disc Golf Academy is its own kind of competition where you can keep kind of building up. You'll earn different patches. You'll see it when you log in. It's well worth it. For Mr. Freeberg, the guys in the booth, and Mr. Bibiano from Power Disc Golf Academy, this is a Barely Stable podcast. We made it to 20, everybody.
Let's go.
We
20.
did it.
Watch out for those iron leaves. Remember, just be cool.
We're barely stable, but we are looking steady. Look at us making it to episode 20. From humble beginnings to this grand affair, we've laughed, we've learned, and we've shared our care. We've got David here today, the Power Disc Golf Academy, ready to play with expertise to help guide. Everyone is on this wild ride. Episode